News and programming is sponsored by Desert View Hospital, providing emergency medical care around the clock at 360 South Lola Lane. Learn more at desertviewhospital.com. Physicians are not employees or agents of this hospital. News is also brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Tonight on News 46, it's a busy and very hot day for local firefighters.
The Board of County Commissioners hears an appeal from homeowners.
News 46 starts now.
You're watching KPVM News 46 with Deanna O'Donnell and Eunette Gentry. News 46, local coverage you can count on.
Several animals were rescued from two structures that were fully engulfed this morning. It's June 20th, 2017. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Eunette Gentry for News 46. And luckily, no one was injured in that fire on Calvada Boulevard today. However, two structures were destroyed. Fire Chief Scott Lewis explains.
Yeah, just about 2 hours after that, we were dispatched a report of a structure fire on Calvada near Red Rock. Upon arrival, we found two motorhomes were parked to the rear of the property. They were occupied structures. There was also a very close proximity primary dwelling. The two RVs were well involved in fire with an immediate structure was exposed.
And so were you able to save the main structure?
The main structure was without damage. There was also all the occupants were out of all three of the structures on the property. They were all accounted for. The crews saved 5 dogs out of the primary dwelling, and they also, believe it or not, saved a small tortoise out of the initial fire building.
Do you guys know how that started?
Yeah, it's actually under investigation right now.
All right, and so these are occupied structures to the rear of that dwelling. There were some issues with traffic in the area. Tell people some advice.
It's becoming a common problem for us where people see the large columns of smoke and they're flooding the area, both pedestrian and vehicular traffic, and we're trying to avoid that because it's limiting our apparatus from making the scene.
So when you see the fire, please stay away from the area. It hinders the suppression.
Exactly. Stay away from the area, and especially stay away from the access areas that we need to get through in a timely fashion.
And black smoke filled the air near the town of Johnnie today for a multi-vehicle fire at the Two Brothers Junkyard.
Just before noon, we had our third fire of the day. It ended up being an unknown type fire to begin with. Large smoke column was observable miles away. It was well defined, dark in color. We made it a structure assignment based on the proximity and the location of this particular fire, which is just on the very, very north end of our valley. Upon arrival, we found several vehicles well involved within the junkyard. There was no extension onto the nearby federal grounds. Crews, as you can see behind us, made a really good stop on the fire. There was no leaks or spills from any of the vehicles that would create a hazard in addition to the fire itself. Crews, no injuries, making good progress.
Is this business open right now? Were they the reporting party or was it passerby?
There was passerbys are the ones that initially reported. There's at least one person operating at the scene today.
And then BLM's here.
BLM came out due to the observable smoke. They didn't know if they had a ground cover fire, so they responded on their own.
How many cars do you think total were involved?
Less than a half a dozen.
All right. And then it's under control right now at this point. Do you know the cause?
Most likely it was through the activities of the personnel operating here, probably chopping up the vehicles.
The Board of County Commissioners heard an appeal of the Regional Planning Commission, who denied a waiver for 26 parcels near the vicinity of River Plate and Red Rock Drive for livestock.
This is an item that's been discussed for many months. The Board of County Commissioners actually approved a zone change for this back a couple of months ago with a condition that a waiver needs to be granted for the condition that 40 acres or more was requirement for the rezoning of this type of district to an SE district.
Upon studying the video and minutes of the Regional Planning Commission meeting of June 20th, 2017, I find the requirement to state findings when making a motion was disregarded, as pointed out by the chairman. Because of this, I find that the decision was invalid, and upon agreeing with the proposed findings contained in the staff report, Make a motion to reverse the decision of the RPC and to approve the waiver, WV 2017-000044.
Second.
The SE zone change for our 26 parcels has already been approved by both the RPC and this board with the stipulation that a waiver of 40-acre requirement be granted. No one has been able to adequately explain why only one zoning designation has an acreage stipulation in its description. The waiver was denied at the last RPC meeting, which has caused this appeal. We feel the necessity to correct some of the inaccurate statements that were made at the meeting. It was said that we only had 17 signatures on our original petition. That is correct as far as having 17 signatures on those 2 pages, but there are 15 additional pages with the signatures that were obtained at a later time or were actually sent to the landowners in other states. May we respectfully remind you that the Planning Department recommended the waiver be approved. Our neighborhood would appreciate your vote of approval. In lieu of everyone speaking, I have read these comments on behalf of those who are unable to be here today.
I still don't know where those petitions are that the lady was speaking of, and she says that there were new signatures, and and she admits there are people that were omitted from this that did not sign for one reason or another, and I believe planning made the right decision. But I believe this will greatly depreciate the value of that property in that area. I want you to really consider what you're doing. Be sure that you don't want to support the people that don't want this. You can't just support the people that do want it. And I actually think that until they get 25 or 26 signatures out of 26, this should not be permitted.
I went through the list, every APN number, wrote down the owner's name, the date they purchased the property, and whether they signed it, looking at my backup that's in today's agenda item. There's a lot of Ys here, a lot more than 15, a lot more than 16. There's 23. Everyone else, except one, signed it saying, yes, they wanted it. So that issue is not an issue to me. There are enough yeses here to make up my mind. I believe these people should be able to do what they want with their property.
Under state law, all the affected properties, as well as a minimum of 30 neighboring properties are noticed. Everybody up to 300 feet away, at least a minimum 30 people.
I will call for the question. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
3-1.
And stay tuned to News 46. We'll have more information about a lightning strike fire happening up north in Reno.